Good morning, everyone. Welcome to camp. The Lava Bay really turned it on for us last night, as in an industrial fan. We were hit by an absolute gale from about 10 o'clock until about 3 in the morning, which obviously we're inside. It was fine. It was a tiny bit of rain, but not too much. But sleeping in a rooftop tent in gale force winds was just not sleepable. As good as the tent did, and luckily nothing broke. I swear everything was just going to snap off, the amount of wind that was pushing everything around. Everything was flapping. Yeah, nothing broke, but just the sound of just the walls and everything, the whole car shaking left and right, forward and back as well, which is very surprising. Yeah, the awning, the side awning that I made for the tent, didn't have any damage. I thought, look, if that gets ripped, really not the end of the world because it's made of tarp. So not surprising if it would break, but it didn't. It held up very well. None of the fixings or anything broke, which is nice. It ripped all the ground pegs off the awning, everything that was holding the awning and the awning wall down, and by some miracle didn't flip it over the car, which the fox wing awnings are known to do when you get a big gust of wind. For whatever reason, it didn't flip, thankfully. So I just had to go back around and repeg it down, but it meant that all night everything was just banging around until that sort of 3:30 when the wind died off enough that we could go back to sleep. I've just gotten up early to make a cuppa, because I don't know, I just get up early, and yeah, it looks pretty much the same out here. Looks like the tides are right in, but I'm going to finish and make a cuppa, and probably go for a bit of a walk up the beach, have a bit of a look around. There's very faint patches of reception around here, so maybe I can get a bit of that and yeah, check on how things are going in the real world. But look, it's still beautiful here this morning, but yeah, just absolutely blew a gale. We've been battered like all night since about sunset, and the wind has really picked up. We need to put the awning wall up just to cook food, and then obviously we went to bed and it just got crazy. So it's died down a bit, but it's still a little bit gusty. So plan for today, we'll have a bit of a quick breakfast, I think. Cook some crumpets on the camp stove, and then we're basically going to hightail it out of here, keep heading west. We've got an appointment to get to in Albany on Friday, so we want to sort of be a bit closer to Albany tomorrow morning. So tonight we'll probably try and aim for maybe Shane's Beach or something like that. If Coinhead Campground, the road leading in, is underwater, as the park ranger tells me, then yeah, the warnings I had about House Beach behind Bremer Bay are probably grounded, and probably best that we don't even try going over there, because it's a little bit out of the way, and while it was recommended to go there because it was just beautiful, obviously the amount of rainfall and stuff they've had this year has just meant that the tracks are closed, and I'd rather know that now than when we drive. And I'd rather know that now than driving an hour and a half out of our direction to go to this place. I need to find the tracks underwater, and so sloppy it's not even worth attempting to drive it. So yeah, that's the plan for today. We'll probably hit Shane's Beach. We'll probably knock out quite a few Ks on the road today. We're hoping to split them up a little bit between yesterday and today, but yeah, yesterday we did less, tomorrow we're going to do more, plus more to get to Shane's Beach again, so that's alright. That's what this puppy's built for. Well, can't really call the 200 puppy, I suppose. Anyway, I'll share some images of what campsite looks like this morning, finish my cuppa, go for a bit of a walk, and we'll catch up on the road. I will note as well that I'm recording in the car because the wind is just that crazy, and I'm missing a piece of my audio equipment to record with the lapel mic or any microphone, which was an oversight of mine before we left. We were in a bit of a rush to pack and leave because of a bunch of things, but yeah, unfortunately I didn't want to give you guys crap audio where I don't have to, so I'm hopefully going to try and fix that when we get to Albany. I'll have a bit of time to go into some bigger shops and maybe try and find this last piece that I need, and then from there on in hopefully have some good audio. But for now you'll just have to deal with me recording in a car like a newbie. Oh well, it is what it is. Sure you guys enjoy the pictures anyway. Let's go and have a cuppa. Need a cuppa. Started the walk up to Castle Rock. Supposedly a 4K return trip. Well, supposedly it is, but we're just going to jump into it and see how it goes. It's getting late in the day, but nice and cool. It's not windy, which is nice. See you up there. Check this out, on top of Castle Rock. about a 2.2k climb to get up here. Nothing really that difficult, a few stone steps and that's pretty much it. The last bit up to the top here is a bit of a scramble over some rocks and then up a steep ladder, which I think is about 30 meters long or something like that. But yeah, definitely worth it to come out here. I've done a lot of work to get this skywalk here. You can tell if I wasn't here, barely anyone would be able to fit up here except for serious climbers. But this is spectacular. You can almost see all the way down to the ocean from here, down that way. Oh, there it is. After soaking in all the spectacular views of Castle Rock, we got in the car and headed towards Albany. Following the events of the previous night, we were glad to be in a room with the solid walls and ceiling to get ready for what was to be a big day to come. With a good night's sleep under our belts, we restocked the car and headed off to our next destination, which in this instance was the Gap and the Natural Bridge just outside of Albany. After gouging ourselves at Limeburners with some beautiful whiskey and food, we headed off to the beach here near Stokes Inlet. We ended up rescuing some of these people's friends in a Mitsubishi Outlander on the beach, who told us that this Corolla had been sitting here for most of the day, well and truly stuck, and a number of cars had failed to get it moving. So we thought we'd go over and give them a hand and see if we could help them out at all. The sand underneath was so clogged in the wheel arches, you couldn't turn the steering wheel, and the car would not drive at all. So it basically was a bit of a skull drag trying to get it up the beach a few hundred metres towards where the car park was. Usually not a big issue with the 200, but the sand was just so soft, and with the big dead weight behind it really dragging into the sand, it did really make it a fair bit of an effort, especially when you started to crest the little lumps in the dunes as well. You can see here how the front wheels are just sticking on. Even though the 200 is doing a great job pulling the weight, as soon as that crawler starts to bag it down, the 200 sinks into the sand, and we have to rescue it as well, which was easy enough with the 4 max tracks there. Just making sure you don't spin the wheels too much, that you dig down too far, and it's easy enough just to dig under the tyres and put the max tracks underneath. So slowly but surely we made our way back towards the car park, moving a few car lengths at a time, moving the corolla and then the 200 getting stuck, having to recover that, then reversing back, and away you go. It is worth noting I'm trying to use as little force on the corolla as I can, because obviously we're just using the factory tie down point or tow point on the back of the car, and there's no need to actually yank the thing out of the sand too bad. It did need a little bit to get it moving, but once we sort of had a bit of movement, then yeah, the 200 could just pull it along fine, even though it was a dead weight. Total hats off to the guys helping us. They just finished year 12 at Albany Senior High, so massive hats off to them, and big thanks for the, helping to get this corolla off the beach, so that way when the tide came in it wasn't going to claim it and making a little reef. But yeah, you can just see here we're just try after try, slowly moving the car, little bits and pieces, until eventually we find some traction and we can actually tow it in one go back towards the to the car park, which is great. How was that for an adventure? Getting along the beach here, we're at Mutton Bird Beach. I say that because there's a nice sign behind me telling me exactly what it says. And as we're coming along, it took us a while to actually find the beach, to find the entrance, which turned out was actually the harder entrance. We find this little 90, probably a 96 Corolla, 2-wheel drive, sitting on the beach that was well and truly stuck, had been stuck there all day. So we offered our assistance, and because the beach was so boggy, it took us a lot of effort, a lot of attempts, a lot of max tracks, a lot of digging to finally move it up. Because every time I'd move forward to snatch it, my car would just bog down because it was just so soft. But we got there in the end. 200 did very well. So now we're just airing the tyres back up. We're going to head off, probably try and head to maybe Shelley Beach for camp, because it's getting late, the sun's about to set, and we want to make dinner and go to bed probably. So anyway, pump the tyres back up, 40 psi, about 25 k's to Shelley Beach. We'll see you there. Enjoy the sunset. Good morning all, welcome to camp. We had a great night's sleep last night. We had a little bit of rain overnight, which was fine. Everything sort of come down damp, fire went out last night. And there's no wind as well, which every other night we've been camping it's been blowing quite hard. So it's been nice to not have to fight the wind every time we're at camp. So this morning we woke up, we are somewhere, well, we are west of Albany and not quite at Denmark. You would have seen that we did a little rescue on the beach yesterday afternoon. That took a long time. By the time we sort of got back on the road and we're going to go and find camp, it was dark. We didn't have phone reception, and we were pretty knackered, so we just sort of tried to find a little nook where we could camp. Followed a dirt road, then a smaller dirt road, then a smaller one, and we ended up here. We've got some sort of water in front of us. I'm not exactly sure where it is. It's a river or a lake or something. And yeah, this little sort of cul-de-sac where yeah, we just seem to be hidden away from the world, which is great. So yeah, camp's been going really well. This morning we're going to have some bacon and egg wraps, I think, with some hash browns. Just got the fire going more as a exercise of seeing whether or not I can get a fire going with wet wood, which turns out I can. Which is always nice to sort of prove little skills like that to yourself. It's also been good to sort of have the fire to dry out a few things. For whatever reason, the edge of my pillow got very wet last night, which I suspect is either a lot of condensation built up in the inside of the tent, just pushed up against the wall and it all just ran into it. Or who knows, maybe I dribbled the whole night. I dribble all day, so maybe I'll do it all night as well. Today's plan, we are going to keep heading west along the coast. I really want to go and do Bornholm Beach, Bornholm Beach, however you pronounce it, because it's here and I've never really sort of had a reason to drive past it and give it a go. So we're going to head down there today. I've seen a few people online who've already given it a go and said that it wasn't too hectic. I think in the middle of summer when it gets really powdery is when you have to be a little bit worried, but we'll check the tides and make sure we're not going to go down there at high tide and potentially stuff ourselves up. But yeah, we're going to go down there and give that a go. That'll be good to sort of tick that one off the bucket list. And then we'll keep heading west, probably towards maybe Parry Beach for camp tonight. It'll really depend on how Bornholm Beach is and what the condition of that's like, and we'll just go from there. And then I think the following night we may even try and head to maybe Broke Inlet. I've been wanting to go there for a little while now. I've been to Fish Creek, which is on one side of it, but never had a reason or a path to get to Broke Inlet. I've heard it's very beautiful down there, so we're going to probably go and check that out. And that'll probably conclude our camping trip, I think. We'll probably head home after that. We've got a few things we need to clean and sort and get ready for the following week, getting back into the real world. But for now, it's been great. So anyway, I'm going to enjoy the rest of this cuppa and probably make some breakfast. We'll wait for the sun to come up and dry out a bit of our gear, and then probably hit the road, I think. Go back down to the beach and see if we can not get bogged.
Down on the beach, see if we can not get bogged.